We made it! Finally! So, after a year and 4 months of waiting since they announced this film, we finally have our first look at Hellboy the Crooked Man, the R-rated reboot coming from Brian Taylor and starring Jack Kesey as Big Red himself. The film was written by Mike Mignola, the original creator of the comic, and Christopher Golden, his longtime collaborator, who has been working on Hellboy since they did the novels. The film was announced all the way back in March of 2023, and we finally get our first look, and holy shit.
We've got company.
I think someone over at Millennium is trying to get in my pants because this looks fucking awesome. The film is based on the short story The Crooked Man, written by Mike Mignola and drawn by the absolutely legendary Richard Corbin. Rest in peace, Richard, you absolute legend. It tells the story of a young Hellboy back in the 1950s, getting lost in the Appalachian woods and trying to save a village from a really fucked up situation. The story's great, it's really dark, it's short so you can read it, just bash out in like half an hour. I definitely recommend that you go and read it before the film.
Something in these hills. Something haunted. Evil. It smells like death.
How do you know that?
Dark things called dark things.
So, the trailer opens with some aerial shots of Appalachia. In this case, it was filmed in Bulgaria, and I think Bulgaria is a really good substitute for Appalachia because this looks bang on. It looks really similar to the comic, so kudos. We then get a shot of some of Appalachia's beautiful residents. If I had to take a guess, these are probably the people that find the young paralysed woman at the start of the comic. She gets paralysed by witch balls, which is just hilarious to have to say. But that being said, they could also be the witches. There's the majoritarily old women in this shot, so gives you something to think about. And then we get one of my favourite shots in the trailer. Now this shot is literally pretty much ripped from the comic. It's so inspired by this panel, and I think the mood and the lighting and the silhouette of Effie with the trees, it just screams the Crooked Man. It's fantastic. So we are introduced in this shot to Effie Kolb, portrayed by Leah McNamara. Effie Kolb is the henchwoman to the Crooked Man, and yeah, she's not great. I'm really looking forward to seeing this incarnation. I think that she doesn't get enough play in the original comic. I think she could have been used quite a bit more, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with her in the film. Hopefully they can do her some justice. Now, in my opinion, this horse is a little bit too chubby for the horse that we get in the comic. The one that's in the comic is pretty much dying. Like, no, it is dying. It's pretty much dead. And for very good reason. There's a big twist to that horse that I'm not going to spoil here. If you want to go and read the story, definitely do. It's a great story. But yeah, that horse is, yeah, it's not what it seems. We'll put it that way. Also, something Effie just gets off. I love the shot. You just have Hellboy on the porch of Cora's cabin, like shining a light on Effie as she kind of gives a really sexy silhouette. It's a shame that she just gets off. In the comic, she like flies up into the air off the horse and then just buggers off over the trees. I would have loved to have seen that in live action, but we don't know. Maybe she does. Maybe she does that afterwards. Cut to a quick shot of Tom walking through the woods, and then we get our first shot of Jack as Hellboy. Now, there's a lot that I want to say about the makeup for Jack, and I'm going to wait until we've got through the trailer to be able to do that, but I don't think that it was a good idea to show this as the first time you see Jack in makeup, because This isn't a great shot. Like, something funny is that Mike always tells the artists that work on Hellboy to never draw a Hellboy from the front, because Hellboy's proportions don't look good from the front. He's a 3/4 or a profile character. You never draw a Hellboy from the front, and it's quite funny that that's the first thing we see. There's quite a few things that I want to say about the makeup. Again, I'll get into it at the end of the trailer, but I don't think that this was a good first impression, especially with the shot that's coming up, which I do think is a good first impression. It's a shame that they did this first, because like, yeah, it's not the best. And then we smash cut to a shot of Cora. Cora Fisher in the movie is being brought to life by Hannah Margetson. And I think, yeah, she's doing a pretty good job in this scene, keeping in mind that there's a snake coming out of her, which, I mean, you know, that's a face that you'd pull. That's a face you would pull in that situation. She's selling it. And then we get a much better look at Hellboy. A profile shot with the church in the background. That church being the one where we have our final stand. But it's daytime, so this is obviously a different moment in the film, which I think is quite interesting. How come they've got there already? Questions. But yeah, we have a profile shot of Hellboy. I think it works really well. And then we get a real good look at Jack in full prosthetics, kind of looking towards the camera off into the distance at some paranormal shit that's going bump in the night. We also see Tom for the first time, being portrayed by Jefferson White, and yeah, they've nailed it. They've got the hat, they've got the jacket. It's pretty bloody spot on.
I heard tales about him all my life. Most just called him the Crooked Man.
I really love that they've put the, from the creator of Hellboy, Mike Mignola. That's brownie points, is that? Yeah, you know what you're doing. We then see Bobby Jo Sung, who is Adeline Rudolph's character. Bobby Jo Sung isn't originally in the comic, so she's an addition that was made for the film. I'm really surprised because we don't get a lot of her in this trailer. I was expecting the first trailer for The Crooked Man to be quite Adeline Rudolph heavy. So the fact that we only see her, I think, about 3 times throughout the entire trailer is quite intriguing. I'm really looking forward to seeing their dynamic. I'm hoping for kind of like a Kate and Hellboy type thing where, you know, they're good mates and Hellboy feels, you know, quite protective of her. You know, the vibe that we get in The Wolves of St. August, I think that's probably a good balance to try and find. She's a rookie BPRD agent like Kate was in that story. So yeah, Hellboy's probably going to be looking out for her. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing that dynamic. I think it's going to be cool. We then have Jack talking about the Crooked Man, and then we get our first sneak peek at the character. It's just a hand, but the hand is sufficiently creepy and he's digging into the soil. I wonder what he's up to. We then cut to a shot which is literally pulled from the comic, like all the way down to kind of the witch effigy that's on the floor is pretty much 1 for 1. So this is Tom and Effie. This is Tom's backstory. Tom, in the comic, he runs away because he almost sells his soul to the devil. And then once he realizes the mistake that he made, he leaves. He leaves for about 20 years. And then the story is him coming back, trying to face his demons. So yeah, and the demon that he's got to face is, yeah, not the best. But he has a demon to help him, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, the attention to detail that's gone into this is just, it's so cool, man. I'm really happy. And the shot that follows is just, oh my god. It's literally pulled from the comic. This is the comic panel. And the snap and the noise and the snappiness to it, I think it works really well. That's definitely a trailer shot. I really appreciate that they've gone the extra mile to try and represent Richard Corbin's work. Obviously there's going to be differences because, you know, comics and movies aren't the same medium. But yeah, really cool that they've you know, they're integrating this. It's a really cool little Easter egg. We then cut to a shot of the freight train. The freight train was actually the first thing that we found out about the movie, because Brian Taylor said that the film starts on a freight train, and that's what he felt like the production of this movie was. There's actually an Easter egg in here, and this was pointed out to me by a friend of mine, Anungan Rama on Twitter. Hey dude. But he pointed out to me that on the front of the train there's Wellman. And that's a nice little nod, because Tom Ferrell is actually based on a comic book character called Silver John, who was created by Manly Wade Wellman. Which is the most American name in existence. We then cut to Cora floating up in the air with Hellboy screaming out her name as a snake like coils its way around her. If I had to guess, this scene is probably the scene from the comic where Cora explodes into all of the insects. Normally that scene again is at nighttime, so it's quite surprising that it's during the day. Now I could be wrong, this could just be another scene where Cora gets lifted up into the air and bitten by a snake, but if I had to put money on it, that's what I think it probably is. I think they probably changed it because bugs are gross. But if you actually look in the in the scene that follows, that snake is coming out of her. That's messed up. That's really fucked. Again, a little quick shot of Bobby Joe Sung, who is just looking really worried. As you would be, because a woman that you are traveling with is currently being possessed and floating in the air and being bitten by a snake. So we then have some very speedy cuts. The first one is someone else in the air who's currently floating. That isn't Cora, that's someone else. If I had to guess, it would probably be Tom. He's in pants and a jacket and shoes, and as you can see, Cora is in a dress, and also there's no trees above her, so that's not the same shot. So I'm intrigued to find out what that is. We then see a absolutely fucking amazing shot of the crooked man in what looks like an abandoned mine with crows flying everywhere. Crows are actually a theme throughout the trailer. And yeah, really cool shot. I'm really looking forward to seeing what that is. If I had to guess again, I'd probably say that it's a dream sequence. Probably Hellboy after he gets inundated with the insects, which we actually see a little bit later in the trailer. But yeah, I'm guessing dream sequence if that's on my Hellboy bingo card. And then we get another shot of Cora's cabin with Effie arriving on the horse. She seems to be covered in blood in this shot, so I'm really intrigued to find out what it is that she's been up to and why she's covered in blood. I wonder if it's from the horse, because the horse is... yeah, that's... yeah. We then get a shot of Hellboy covering Adeline's mouth. Something's obviously going on here. If I had to guess again... I gotta stop saying if I had to guess. I'm just guessing throughout the entirety of this thing. Speculating. It's cool. But yeah, if I had to guess, it would probably be Cora's skin scene. I really hope that they show the skin scene. I really hope that they do that, where Cora's skin is just like flayed across the bed, and you get the raccoon just coming into the mouth, and then they're like... yeah, that's probably what's going on here, and Hellboy's probably trying to keep her calm so that no one notices that they're there until, you know, they have to make themselves known. And then a very cool shot of a crow with a fire, and then puts out the fire. It's very Game of Thrones. I like it. It's very cool. I wonder what it's for. I'm guessing again probably dream sequence. Probably the same dream sequence as the crooked man with the in the mine shaft. But yeah, gonna be cool to see.
We've got company.
All your friends, they all gonna die.
Now that is my favorite scene in the entirety of this trailer. The lighting on Hellboy there is amazing. I love that line read, the "we've got company." It's so cool and gritty, and it's so Hellboy, because obviously something really fucked up is happening outside, and Hellboy's just kind of like, we got company. But yeah, Adeline looking sufficiently worried. Again, she's very worried throughout this entire trailer, and I appreciate that. They could have gone with the whole Marvel, you know, her cracking jokes, not really caring about what's happening, you know, seeing all this before, even though she's like a rookie BPRD agent. And I appreciate that she's obviously very creeped out by what the fuck is going on here. Then we get Hellboy's gun. Now, I have a lot to say about Hellboy's gun in this. It's big enough, it's fucking huge, which I really appreciate. For me personally, a little bit too modern. It looks a little bit too intricate for me. I would have liked something a little bit blander, something like in the comic, just that big tube that you open that you can only put one bullet in. To me, Hellboy's gun is more of a tool. Like, if he needs to fight a werewolf, he needs something that can shoot a silver bullet. It's not necessarily a revolver. The revolver came in more with Guillermo del Toro's interpretation of it, the Good Samaritan, which is, I mean, we can all agree it's one of the coolest weapons in cinema. I think Hellboy's Good Samaritan from those first Hellboy films is up there with like the Alien's pulse rifle for just fucking cool weapon. But yeah, it's big, it's loud, and it looks fucking sweet. You can actually see that they're in the church in this shot, so this is obviously just before the final showdown with the Crooked Man, and yeah, one of my favourite parts of the comic, which we're going to be getting up to in a couple of seconds. But yeah, very cool. I like the torso, I like the muscles, I think the muscles are looking good. It's a little bit flat, but I like the definition on it, it's cool. And then we have a shot, this is actually the shot that Jack shared on Instagram. I think this is the one that he's the most proud of. It's just a cool shot of Hellboy inspecting his gun, and he's got like, he has the bell jaw, the Hellboy big mouth thing going on here. And I think it works really well. We also get a proper look at the right hand of Doom, which we haven't got up to this point. They haven't shown the right hand of Doom throughout the entirety of the trailer, which I'm quite intrigued by. I wonder why, because it's such an iconic iconography for the character. I wonder why they haven't shown it so far. But yeah, this is we get a pretty good look at it here. I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of a texture it is. Is it more rock? Is it more like it was kind of like a hot metal in the 2019 incarnation. So I wonder what it is that they've gone for in this one. I'm hoping that it's sharp. If I had to do it, I'd do something more akin to marble. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what they've done. However, I don't recognize where they are here. You've got kind of like we have an arrow that's lit up in the background just next to the window. So I wonder where they are. It's surprising to see that there's electricity out here, because to me this Appalachia thing, it's like it's butt crack nowhere. So I wonder what they're doing in somewhere that has electricity. That's intriguing. I'm looking forward to finding out why. But yeah, we get an even better look at the gun here, and a lot of bells and whistles. But yeah, it looks awesome. Then we have Tom, who's digging someone out of the ground. I can't recognize who this is. It might be Cora, but it might be someone else. If I had to guess, it was probably his mum, because I know that his mum died. So I wonder if he's trying to like dig her up as kind of the crooked man torturing him. But at the same time, it could just be Cora, or it could be a completely different character that we just haven't seen yet. I'm looking forward to finding out who. But this is a cool shot. It's very claustrophobic. I wonder why they're in this situation. And then we have it, ladies and gents. The thing I wanted to see, we have the holy shovel of beating the piss out of the crooked man. That is the thing I am the most excited to see in this film, and it is the one thing that I really wanted them to get right. And I have to say, it looks really cool. I really hope that that's just how it ends. You've got the crooked man doing like a big speech, and then Hellboy just comes up and whacks the shit out of him. Then we have Hellboy standing above some burning pages. I don't know what this is. Again, it's not from the comic as far as I can tell. So I wonder what they are. I wonder if it's like maybe witchcraft or something. But yeah, they're obviously burning something important. Then we have a scene of the witches in the final fight with the crooked man, who are torturing our team whilst they're in the Reverend's chapel. And yeah, they're looking good. It looks pulled from the comic, and I like to see that it's nighttime, so they're obviously respecting the time of day. That's something that you actually see in quite a few films based on witchcraft. The one that comes to mind immediately is the Blair Witch Project, which is one of my favorite films, and one of the reasons why I'm so excited for them to be adapting this particular story, where the closer you get to the witches' kind of hideout, then they can control the time. In the comic, it's called the Devil's Time. So yeah, they can control when it gets dark, so that they can, you know, make whoever stumbles in by accident kind of lose their way. Yeah, it's gonna be cool. Then we have a shot of the Reverend, who's been played by Joseph Marcel. You'll probably know him from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. But yeah, he's perfect. He's literally like, it's scary how close he is to his comic book counterpart. I'm guessing, if I had to guess, this is obviously the scene where he's getting his eyesight back, where the crooked man is messing with his head. Very looking forward to seeing what he's gonna bring to the role. I think he's a good actor. Then we have Hellboy in a corridor getting absolutely lobbed. This isn't from the comic either. I wonder where they are. But yeah, he's definitely being hit by something. Another quick shot of the crooked man's hand. Oh, it's so creepy. Have you seen that nail? Ugh. I wonder what it's like to chew on. Just ugh. And then Effie giving a speech about how everyone's going to die. Leia McNamara, she looks like she's doing a really good job with this. It has to be a fun role to be able to play. So yeah, she looks like she's just hamming it up, just going for it, and I really appreciate that. Then we have a shot of Hellboy being consumed by bees. Now, this kind of resembles the shot from the comic where Hellboy gets infested by insects after Cora explodes. So I wonder if that is in play here, because if I had to guess, it would probably be replaced with the snake. But if that isn't the case, then what's going on here? Is it Effie messing with Hellboy? Is it just some witchcraft from someone else or a different character? Or are they actually bringing in that scene? Because normally it would be kind of like in a dark void, and I'm looking forward to seeing what this is. But yeah, disgusting. It's a bee. Yerd. My friend Robert Cinema made that joke. Thanks, Rob. Then we have a shot of a woman on fire. Yeah, so this is obviously the witch trials. The witch is being burned. I'm guessing this is probably a backstory, maybe a flashback, maybe Effie's flashback to her origin, why she is a witch and why she's doing what she's doing. But yeah, looking forward to seeing who this is. And then we have a proper shot of Hellboy getting pushed back with a lot of debris coming. And if you look properly, you can actually see a giant spider that he's fighting. Now I hate spiders. I really hate spiders. So this is going to be an interesting watch. I wonder if I'm going to be able to get through it. I will. I have to. But yeah, I'm not going to enjoy it. But it's going to be quite satisfying watching Hellboy beat the shit out of my biggest fear. So thanks, Hellboy. You can also kind of see the hand here. I like the circles for his knuckles. I think they're a good height. Definitely look like the comic books. But yeah, he's obviously getting pushed back. I'm looking forward to seeing this fight. Then a little profile shot of Hellboy with the crooked man having a good old giggle just before he gets his gun out and shoots it. That's so Hellboy. That laugh from the crooked man, it's really sinister. It has a lot of presence to it. Perfect. The Crooked Man is actually being played by Martin Bassendale. Martin Bassendale is a theatre actor originally, so Brian Taylor said that he nails it. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the prosthetics, the Crooked Man, what he actually looks like. If it was up to me, I would have liked him to have been an animatronic, because that head is just so messed up. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with the makeup for this one. It's gonna be cool. And that's it. Hellboy the Crooked Man title, fucking, oh my god, like for a short trailer, this is more of a teaser. It's only a minute long. There's a lot. Like I was trying to do notes for this, and it just was so long. There's just so much. There is so much in this trailer for such a short amount of time. So it's a lot of information, it's a lot of teasing, and yeah, I think it's perfect. I really do. I love this trailer. No matter how the film turns out, this trailer has put an absolute smile on my face. I'm so chuffed. Like the rhythm, the speed, the kind of the cuts, and the sound design and the music, and just everything's really impactful, and I think it looks really cool. A lot of people are kind of like dissing it, and I don't understand why. I think the trailer in of itself is good. I think their main problem comes from Hellboy's makeup, and they're kind of looking at the rest of the trailer because of that in a bit of a weird light. Because yes, we've made it. Hellboy's makeup. I have a lot to say about it. I think this film it's a very low budget movie. I think the budget is somewhere around $15 million. So cheap. It's a cheap film. Like in comparison, the 2019 reboot cost $50 million. Hellboy 2 cost $88 million. Hellboy 1 was 40, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, so the Hellboy films so far, they haven't been expensive, but they haven't been low budget films. This is a low budget film. And something that's obviously taken a hit is Hellboy's prosthetics. I don't mind it, I genuinely don't. The more I watch the trailer, the more used to it I get. But I have to admit, that first picture, it was a bit of a shock. Because it obviously isn't the same quality as Ron Perlman. And, I mean, in the last film, the 2019 reboot, that looked like a bin bag had been fucking melted onto David Harbour's face. So something that I really appreciate with this is the fact that they've let Jack's face shine through. I think the jacket's great. I like that for the shoulders, they've done the slanted Hellboy shoulder. That's very cool. I like that they've gone with the proper hair this time. He has the man bun. They've gone for more wispy sideburns and chin chin beard. Goatee, that's the one. No, it's not a goatee, is it? What is that? The little Hellboy chin thing. And it was like that towards the end of the comics. Mike Mignola started to make that kind of shorter and slimmer. So this obviously aping that style of Hellboy, as opposed to Ron's, who was very bushy. And yeah, David's that was overgrown. Hellboy's very pale in this. Hellboy is very pale in some of the comics. His colour varies depending on the comic story. So depending on the mood of the scene or what's happening, Hellboy's colour changes. Like if he's if he's like defeated or feeling weak, then he will be a more pale shade of red. And then if he's like an anger or something like that, then it will be quite a bright red. Dave Stewart, who is an absolute fucking legend, he uses those colours really well to kind of sell emotion. And I'm guessing that's probably what they're trying to do here, doing a bit more of a pale Hellboy for the fact that this is going to be a very bleak story and kind of really messed up and dire. So I'm guessing that's what it is that they're trying to represent here. However, he doesn't have yellow eyes, and that's not good. He needs the yellow eyes. Hellboy has yellow eyes. That's like a staple of the character, and the fact that his eyes are blue here, that's yeah, no. They need to fix that before the movie comes out. They have months left post-production, and yeah, get on that, Brian. And then something else that I think is throwing people quite a bit is that his horns are front-facing. Whereas Ron and David's horns, they had kind of like a slant to them, whereas these guys are front-facing, and I get that for a profile shot, so that you can see kind of like the, the outline of one of the horns, and then have the other horn be quite present. But when you film face on, which they do multiple times in this trailer, it looks strange. Also, when it's at a profile, then it has kind of like that flatness to it. I think it's definitely a good profile horn, but as a front on, it looks kind of odd at first. So yeah, it's an odd choice. It's a mixed bag. It's obviously a lot cheaper. It's not at the same level of quality that Guillermo del Toro's makeup team were able to work with. I still think it works. I think it's definitely going to come down to the performance, and I'm looking forward to seeing Jack in the role. I think he's going to knock it out of the park. He definitely seems like that kind of person, kind of like a blue collar just guy. So hopefully he can bring that to the character. But I do like the jacket. I like the gun. But yeah, pretty cool. I think, however, the rest of the cast, when it comes to what they look like, they're ripped from the comic. Like, they're ripped. They're on steroids. But they are like pulled straight from the comic. It's kind of creepy. Like Tom Farrell, Jefferson White, Leia McNamara as Effie, Hannah Margetson as Cora, Joseph Marcel as the Reverend. Like, they're all really similar to their comic book counterparts. So kudos to the casting coach on that. You've nailed it. Like, you really nailed it. They're all theatre actors, so they're probably gonna give like a really good performance in this. I'm really looking forward to seeing them all do the best. And then yeah, there's scenes in this that are pulled from the comic, like one-to-one adaptations of comic book panels. It's really cool to see. It's really cool to see that attention to detail and that love and that respect given to Richard Corbin's work. Rest in peace, Richard. What an absolute legend. Seriously, like, his art is so disturbing and so weird. I really hope that they can portray that and kind of like, adapt it well for cinema. They need to pay respect to that man's work, because it's insane. But yeah, this is actually written by Christopher Golden and Mike Mignola. That's very interesting. This is probably going to be the most faithful adaptation that we're going to get of Hellboy. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how that translates, because Mike Mignola he's a comic book writer, and Christopher Golden is a novelist. Seeing them take their talents towards a script writing, which is a lot more different, to their line of work. I'm really looking forward to seeing how that translates. It should be cool. But yeah, faithful adaptation. R-rated, which you can tell throughout this trailer. There's some really messed up things going on. We got quite a bit of blood, the bugs, the violence. I'm hoping that this is gonna This is going to be a good one. But you have to remember, Hellboy isn't violence for violence' sake. It's more dark kind of mood and oppressive atmosphere. And when there is violence, then it's very impactful. So I hope that they can translate that. There's something I didn't like about David Harbour's adaptation. It was just violence for violence's sake. They swore, there was F-bombs. It was like, there isn't a single fuck throughout the entirety of the Hellboy comic. So it was weird, like, having that in there. It just felt like them trying to be edgy for edgy's sake. So yeah, I hope that R rating, they can do it justice. And Hellboy, it looks like he's more of a blue-collar worker, which I like. Ron Perlman's interpretation was kind of like a lovesick teenager and a cool, suave dude. Kind of like a spaghetti western thing going on with the boots and the, you know, and the way that he walked and the serious stare. And it was a cool interpretation, but he was kind of young. He felt young in the film, even though he didn't look it. And then David Harbour's interpretation was just like a child, like smashing doors and making Uber jokes and put his feet up on the table and talk and like having tantrums with Professor Broom. It wasn't a good interpretation of the character. I think David Harbour was a perfect choice for Hellboy, but that direction that he was given was atrocious. So hopefully Jack can do like a Hellboy that's kind of closer to the comic. So I'm looking forward to seeing his interpretation. It seems like he's a bit more moody, a bit more that reserved Hellboy from the graphic novels. But yeah, all in all, I think you can tell that I love this trailer. I think it's fantastic. I think the rhythm's great. It's got me excited for the film. There's a lot of questions that I'm asking myself, which is cool because, you know, I'm a Hellboy obsessive. I've read them all like multiple times. So actually, like, not knowing what certain things are happening in certain scenes, then that's going to be really cool. And people who haven't read the comic that are going to be able to watch this for the first time, you're in for some serious surprises. This is going to be great. So all in all, it's a massive thumbs up from me. I'm chuffed. I'm so happy. There's a couple of things that they can tweak, like the eye color. You gotta get the eye color. He has yellow eyes. Don't take Hellboy's yellow eyes away. But yeah, a couple of things that they might be able to fix. A couple of color grading issues, maybe. You know, for the scenes where Hellboy's out in the daylights, that they can maybe hide some of those like cheaper prosthetic pitfalls. And yeah, hopefully get it up to scratch. And yeah, I can't wait. The next time they're going to be talking about the film is soon. So I'm going to be making another video about all the information that's going to come out about that. And yeah. So I'll see you then. Oh man, so cool.